Happy 1-year anniversary to the Wii U, Nintendo! Or at least that's how we should say it. But yes, hi everybody, this is RRPG here, and welcome to a very special episode of the Game Riffer's own Riff Table Arcade. And joining me, we have...
Jeff, also known as 16-Bit Jeff.
And I'm FighterXaos.
Yep, so we are nearing the 1-year anniversary of Nintendo's 6th console that they have released. And the first to introduce the 8th generation of gaming. So yeah, we decided to take the liberty to, right before the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One's launches, which the PlayStation 4 is launching next Friday, and then the Xbox One a week after that, but I think that's going to be a tight race between that game, Super Mario 3D World, and A Link Between Worlds, since they all release at that same date.
Jeez.
Yeah, no kidding. But yes, we decided to take the liberty to actually talk about the pros and cons of the Wii U within its first year, and what we need to expect to happen, or what needs to be fixed within 2014. Now, since Jerry didn't really... since he didn't really have the Wii U for that long, since he only got it last week, was it?
Pretty much last week. Yeah, last week.
Yeah. So we'll try to get your quick impressions, but I think Jeff and I, since we had the Wii U for the first year, we have enough insight on what we can both talk about on the good and the bad, and what needs to improve. But I'm pretty sure you do have some things that could be improved, based on like news segments and stuff that you've seen online, Jerry. So we'll definitely count that. So yeah, Jeff, do you or me want to go first with talking about the pros for how the Wii U was handled for the first year?
I'll go first.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, the positives I have to say about the launch is that I was impressed with how much titles they had at the launch when it was included with both first-party and third-party titles. Yeah, there were titles that were already available on other consoles, like the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 and PC, but it was nice to see that those games also got like Wii U launch titles for that system, like, for example, Mass Effect 3, Batman Arkham City.
Darksiders 2.
That too, yeah, and
Assassin's Creed 3 is one of them.
It was nice to see that, for once in a very long time, that these third-party companies, whether it was WB Games, Ubisoft, Activision, like all these big shots in regards to third-party publication, were starting to come back towards Nintendo's side. Because let's face it, that's one thing that really hurt the company during the GameCube and mostly of the Wii lifespans, right?
Yes.
But so it was nice to see that come back. Another thing too is just like I liked the overall architecture of the system. I liked that it was something resembling the Wii somewhat when it comes to the console shell. But one thing I really loved about the console was the gamepad.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's to me, it's something, and I still say this to this day. I prefer the Wii U over the Wii, mainly due to the fact that, I hate to say this, but as much as like the Wii 4 was, it felt like a full-on gimmick to me. Not from Nintendo, but in how it was implemented into the industry by both, like, from mainly the third-party companies and the shovelware company.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you also got to take into account what both Sony and Microsoft did to try to capitalize on that.
Yes, exactly.
And it kind of gotten a lot worse since then, but either way.
One thing I have to say about... another thing I have to say about the Wii, I think they did great the Wii U. With the Wii U is that I did like what Nintendo I do with the Nintendo Network, with the whole ID thing, and them trying to compete with Microsoft and Sony somewhat in regards to the online infrastructure. This time around, it wasn't a complete botch as it was with, say, the friend codes with the Wii in some ways. Was.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
And it's that's what I can think of at the time.
Okay. For me personally, I do agree with you. I really did like the launch lineup. It was definitely probably one of the strongest launch lineups I believe that Nintendo had that ever since the Super Nintendo era in terms of just content. I really liked how they tried to approach third parties to, be a part of the system, as I think they were trying to market the Wii U or try to represent the Wii U as a console for everybody to publish on or for third parties to develop on as well, because they want to, I guess it was a fact that Nintendo also wants to work well with third parties to make sure that their content strives as well as they do. And also, the gamepad was really amazing. I really do also like the Wii U Pro controller. Definitely, probably the best thing to come out of them in quite a long time. And it definitely surpasses the classic controller Pro from the Wii. And another thing, too, is that as the year went down, I have to say some of the some of the stuff that Nintendo has put out, sure, it may have been bad with lack of first-party content at first, but at least they had some really strong first-party content come down in the long run, and more is coming later. So it's good to know that the company still has a strong stretch in wanting to make sure that the Wii U succeeds as much as the Wii did. So I'm very curious to know how Nintendo is going to continue to evolve the system, as well as trying to improve some of the things that people are still having questions about, and also not to mention some of the surprises that they had, especially with like the major updates for the spring and the fall. They were unexpected because they really did help boost the performance of the Wii U, and I really liked that because that was one of the things that I kind of disliked about the Wii U at first. I mean, sure, it wasn't the games, but it was just mostly how the game operated, its operating system from the inside. But to stay on the positive side, it's just that, some of those things like those updates were a really big improvement. Also, even, like I said, the games that came along later down the line, but also, not to mention, some of the Wii U eShop games, as well as from the indie developers, as well as some of those virtual console titles, like Earthbound, for instance. I never thought we would actually get that game ever again. And that just came out within the first year of the console's launch. So that's really big right there. And that game is still within the top 10 most downloaded off the Wii U eShop right now. And I really like how Nintendo is approaching indie developers to help them, with publishing their, well, not them publishing, but for them to show their games or to make their games available on their platform. It goes to show that not only Nintendo, I mean, sure, it's, the way how third parties have been kind of wonky since after launch, but seeing how very strong and receptive that the indie developers have come, it's good to know that a company like Nintendo, who takes a more conservative approach and doesn't, they worry more about making sure that the product is more in quality than the money first. And I think that's why they have shown they worked really well with the indie developers in getting their content onto the Wii U eShop itself. So, yeah, there was a lot of things for the Wii U that just really, really, really surprised me. Within the first year, and even the games that after launch that came out too, they were actually pretty impressive. Well, especially they came from the ones that, probably from the more popular ones that, showed really good polish, like Batman Arkham Origins, Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut, Rayman Legends, even Lego City Undercover, Wonderful 101, and Pikmin 3, and Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD. Just a lot of these games that came out after the launch, and even the ones that we mentioned from before that came at launch, it goes to show that there is some good content within that first year. I mean, sure, it may not attract many people, since I guess mainly the general public are only interested in Mario and Zelda, but it's good to know that there was a possible strong leg for not only first parties but third parties to strive really well for the system. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the positives.
No, I agree with you, and it's funny since we're going to talk about this system next week. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of hard to say which of the current systems that are going to be coming out this generation is going to be my dedicated indie game system. The Wii U or the PlayStation 4. It's going to be a really tough decision for my part. But, Jerry, I'd like to hear your impression on the system.
Yep. What do you think of it after trying it out?
After having it for about a week, I have to say it's more impressive than I thought it would be. I played Batman on it, and it seems more powerful than I would have thought. The gamepad is a lot. The gamepad is very. It runs a lot better than I thought, because the way it felt, it looked like it would not feel comfortable in the hands at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it feels just like any other controller, just with the screen in the middle.
Yeah.
I thought it would be feeling clunky or something like that, but it turns out that's okay. Getting in and out of all the other different things it can do, what seemed to not be bad at all. The thing that I had a problem with that was right at the very beginning, where I had to set it up. That seemed a lot more. I don't know how to put it.
So you had to do the update.
The perfect word.
So
do the update. I had to sign up for the thing, and first time I tried it said nope, sign up was unsuccessful, and I'm like, oh.
Huh.
Yep.
And it was this really long just setup, and I was like, other systems you just tell it the time and connect to the internet, and that's it. This thing was like,
Mm-hmm.
It I don't know. It seemed a lot more tedious than it needed to be.
Mm.
But after I got that, it worked smooth. I mean, even that long update wasn't such a pain at all.
One of the things that also really surprised me
was long.
One of the things that also really surprised me, especially when downloading games, is that they download really fast, like the Xbox Ones. I mean, the Xbox 360's, online service, Xbox Live Arcade or whatever.
I downloaded Monster Hunter demo, and that downloaded really quick. After the update, everything, Batman
Arkham Origins
launched. Arkham City. I have Arkham Origins, but not on the Wii U. I have it on the PS3.
Oh, okay.
Arkham City loaded real fast after that update, and everything. The only thing I have trouble with is the buttons. I'm used to either the Xbox's layout or the PS3's layout. So when it says push X, I'm pushing Y.
Oh. Oh, so you haven't gotten away from the Xbox controller, huh?
Yeah.
Ouch. No, I'm just kidding. Okay,
but,
so
I really do like it. Everything after the tedious startup, it runs very smoothly. I played Nintendo Land 2. That didn't seem. I didn't have any problems with that.
Oh my goodness!
And the Wii U gamepad is very good because it's in the living room.
Mm-hmm.
And my parents like to watch TV, and so far no problems with it because I can just switch to the gamepad, and that's something that I'm very glad. In a way, I'm very glad PS4 you could say is ripping off. With the Vita second screen thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh no, you're watching TV. Oh, I can still play on my Vita. Same thing with the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So now we talked about the pros. So let's talk about the cons, the negatives. So, Jeff, go ahead and start off.
Oh, that's gonna be fun. Well, first off, and it's a big one, and this has been really hurting the system ever since it's launched. The advertising.
Oh, of course.
And this has been pre-launch too, because this has been going on since when they first debuted the console. Well, I'd like to say reintroduced the console at E3 2002.
2002?
I mean 2012, yeah. But 12. I said 2000. I meant to say 2012. But besides that, Botch, what I'm trying to get at is that ever since that E3, whoever is in that marketing, the department for marketing, I'm sorry, but they need to be fired. They really don't understand how to showcase this console to audiences. They do at like conventions, whether it's at E3 or Gamescom, but when it comes to like televised advertisements, they really don't know how to show off the console's potential, or even at the right audience level. You know what I mean?
They need to do something more like if they want to do some advertising, they got to show off the gameplay, not only from within the game, but how players can actually utilize the gamepad for the gameplay in that certain matter.
Exactly, and they also... Oh, continue.
And I was also going to say, because right now, with Wii Party U, Wayne Brady and Jonathan Mangum, who are,
Yes.
Whose Line Is It Anyway, the current one. They're part of the advertising campaign for Wii U, and I gotta say, even though it's entertaining, but just the execution is abysmal, because they don't show. I mean, they show the difference between. I mean, they show gameplay and just live action. It's like they're not side to side to what they can actually do between both. Both ways on how to actually make gamers want to say, "Oh, hey, this looks pretty cool. I actually want to try that."
And then it's funny you bring that up too, because I think they need to expand upon the audience in regards to televised advertisements. Because the only time I see advertisements for Nintendo products are usually like on channels like Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon,
Disney,
and then Disney too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they need
to expand more, because, like, for example, you see like Microsoft and Sony products and say, like, ESPN, these other channels that make more sense. I mean, I'm not saying that they don't, but they need to expand upon the audience more than just those channels.
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
because it's a console, because it's supposed to be a console for everybody, not just for kids.
It doesn't help that you're trying to say you're not only for kids, like being only on the kids' channels. Like,
yeah.
That's even hurting their image even more.
Exactly. Try and get on Fox and ABC and those network channels.
Yeah,
exactly.
I feel that they need to take a step back and look at their past catalog of commercials with their own marketing campaigns to learn how they became really successful, like the Donkey Kong Country one, or even, like now you're playing with Power Fad.
I think where you gain with is and I agree with you if this is the case. I think what Nintendo needs, they need to have a newer image in regards to advertising their products.
Mm-hmm.
Not something in regards to, like, say, what Sony does, like, God forbid, Microsoft does, but something that could tell their audience, saying, like, hey, what we've said in the past, what we've shown, we are family friendly, but in the way that we only cater to kids or that demographic. We cater to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
From 7 to, like, say, 50 or 60 years old.
Uh-huh. Yeah, definitely.
And it's going back to advertising, too, because people still think that this console is an add-on. I mean, I still can't believe that what happened 2 or 3 months ago with that, I'm really hoping that Target flyers was a joke and just, Photoshop, but at the same time I won't be surprised. You know which one I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
But it's just like, it just goes to show for a year that this is going on. It's sad. I mean, this is sad for Nintendo, because we've been pulling from them. Like, we thought that this was going to be the rebirth of Nintendo we knew for years, that they were going to be in the same footing as Microsoft and Sony. And this is another thing I'm going to bring up, too. As much as we love about the Nintendo Network, there's also a big negative to the Nintendo Network, too. It's locked to the console.
That network needs a big revamp.
It does. And
I mentioned just signing up for it was a pain. And then the friends list thing, that's kind of not, 'cause you have to go out of the menu all the way to, granted on the PSN you have to go out to a menu too, but it's right there. You don't have to go to a whole nother screen.
Yeah.
It's more convenience, you're saying. I get what you're saying, yeah. But if there's one thing I dislike about the Nintendo Network, like, for example, you want to send someone a private message. You can't do it through the friends list. You have to go into Miiverse, which I can understand why, but if you just want to send, like, a simple message saying, like, hey, how you been?
Oh, yeah, that's so true.
It should be more like, if they're trying to make Miiverse, like, say, like, they're, like, Nintendo's answer to Facebook or even Twitter, they should have it, make it, like, an alternative to, like, that, to have it, like, say on the side, like a small, like, message box, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like in the main menu. But another thing I dislike about it, too, is just, like, and this has been going on for me, too, because my current problem is right now.
The unification system with the...
That too, but at the same time, it's just like, say, for example, you know what happened in my original one recently.
Yeah.
It was actually deleted. The weird thing is that, like, it's deleted, yet technically it's still inside the system, because if you look at past, because I've been looking past, posts I've liked, I can still see my original icon. So it just baffles me, and I'm not bashing Nintendo, but it just baffles me that, it's deleted, but not fully, so how can I
still
not get that back if it's not fully deleted, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
But But see, I'm not bashing Nintendo because I'm hopeful that this will change next year because of the unification of both the hardware side and the software side. And actually, no, it's both the console side and the handheld side. So hopefully, once those two parties get together finally, maybe that's when we have unified accounts.
I'd be all up for that.
I would too, but if we're in the same spot, if that happens and if we're in the same spot next year, then something bad happened. Something bad must have happened with Nintendo Network. I'm sorry, but say that, but it's the truth. There's a lot of things that goes into it. Nintendo's just like every time that you see something good with the Wii U, this is why it feels like, I don't know about you guys, but every time we see something positive on the Wii U, something like in the next couple days, something bad happens to the.
Oh, of course. It's like there's good things on.
It's like a give or take.
Yeah, give or take.
It's just like I feel bad for Nintendo because like I want them to reach their. I was talking to Jerry about this like even like a couple of minutes even before you came on. It's just like this is how I feel about Nintendo. Are they still relevant? Hell, yes. Are they still beloved? Yes. But are they thinking that they're the king of the hill, the big crop like they were 20 years ago? No, and that's the thing that I think is hurting their vision, their ideal, and honestly, the company. I'm not blaming Iwata. I'm not blaming Miyamoto. I'm not blaming Iwata, nor even Reggie, like most of these people do. But there is something inside that company that is hurting them. I don't know if it's ignorance or something else. Because let's face facts, this is the same company we knew and loved and grown up with the past 20 plus years.
Yes.
But they're not in the same set of mind that they were 20 years ago because, let's face it, there's more competition. It's no longer, say, like Nintendo against Sega or Nintendo against Sony. It's now Nintendo, Sony, Microsoft, and even these other, small companies that are getting into the console wars too with their smaller, the small alternative with microconsoles. It's more expanded, so it does baffle me into some regard that, would I wish they would compete in the same mindset as Sony and Microsoft does? No. However, when it comes to their technology and their hardware, yes, because let's face facts, we all know that,
this must be where the shot originated.
Graphics don't make the game. The gameplay does. But if you want to compete and get those people to work with you, you have to have somewhat of the same footing in regards to specs with the other competition, you know what I mean?
I could see that being a yes or no situation in those regards.
Exactly. I mean, it's really a 50-50, but at the end of the day, I don't know what's really hurting the company, to be honest. It's not, well, I mean, hurting, I'm not saying creatively or financially, but something is pulling them back. That's what I feel.
I just want to step in.
Yeah, go, yeah.
So what about the Wii U itself, Kyle? What besides the network, what else should it do to fix itself?
Well, I haven't even given my negatives about the whole.
Yeah. I was done with that. That's why.
Yeah. So anyway, the negatives on my end for the Wii U. I do agree wholeheartedly with you, Jeff, about its marketing. They really need to step it up for next year to try and get that worked on, so that way they can, get it off the shelf. I mean, get the ball rolling, and for the company to know that for them to say, hey, this is a next-gen system, and this is what it can do, that the Wii cannot do. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
Yeah, I do wholeheartedly agree with you. That's one of their big focuses. I think also another big focus that they need to actually put focus on. I mean, it's all right for indie developers to put their stuff on the console, whether through the eShop or through like retail or digital distribution or whatever. But I think another one of the things that's hurting the console is Nintendo. I felt that they really banked toward third-party companies to release their games for the console early at launch. I felt that there was not that it didn't really become half and half. It was more towards third-party companies. Like Nintendo was kind of set foot in the image that they were trying to cater to hardcore gamers at launch, and they didn't really center around their it's for everybody, not only for casuals, not only for standard gamers like ourselves, and not only just for the hardcore crowd. This is for everybody. They weren't in that focus. They were pretty much taking the same approach as what Microsoft and Sony have been doing.
Agreed.
Yeah, and I felt that was one area where I felt that third parties kind of abandoned ship from the Wii U, was because of why the sales weren't even picking up for the system. And I really find it to be discriminating when they always bring up sales, but it's just, and not to mention too, is that I don't even think that they're taking the Wii U seriously. Like, in terms of like developing games for it and not having the time to like study the console and to see what they could do to actually optimize a game's performance for that. Because there's a few games that I know that actually optimize the game's performance that were actually third-party games for the Wii U, but in terms of the sales, they haven't been, really doing well. And those games are like Need for Speed Most Wanted U, which is the definitive version of that game, by the way. Deus Ex Human Revolution Director's Cut, which I talked about, and also I would even say Rayman Legends out of all things. And I know, and I know that Batman Arkham Origins did, because a lot of people people in the inside the industry have claimed that the Wii U version is actually the most technically stable or the most superior when it comes to its presentation and the technical side of things, and yada yada yada. But it's just that I really don't think that, banking on Warner Brothers, Activision, and Ubisoft is enough to keep the Wii U on its foot, on its toes with third-party support. I really think that, one, Nintendo needs to partner more closely with third parties and work alongside them to know how the console works. And two, that third parties need to quit, sticking in this shtick like as if they are, these really cool kids that feel that they can do what Nintendo cannot do. Because what they're doing, I feel, is just hurting him just biting him in the ass significantly. I mean, you take a look at Capcom, and you just take a look at what happened to THQ. Yeah, it's gonna be, it's not gonna be a very pretty ride if third-party companies try to stay in with the shtick, with sticking to just a particular console with their newer games instead of just, not putting them on all things. And also, there's also one other thing that I feel that needs to be addressed, is that they need to bring the right games for the system. I mean, it's fine that we have different types of games for a system, but I feel that there are some that just don't even fit for the system at all, that really just needs to stay away from the Wii U. I think there needs to be, like, the right games on the right system, even for, like, the PS4 and the Xbox One as well. Yeah, because when you have something different that's on, on one console that was actually exclusive to another, I think that's going to hurt the sales of that game far more. I mean, you want a good example? Take a look at when Final Fantasy XIII hit the Xbox 360. That only had 1 million sales, in contrast to the PS3, which had 5 million sales. Yeah, so we're going to have to see a lot of, we're going to have to see some fixture from third-party games coming onto this, coming onto the Wii U. So yeah, those are really big things that I feel that Nintendo needs to step up their A game, aside from the marketing, with them trying to, partner up with third parties more. I mean, with what they did with Sonic Lost World, I think that was a really good step in the right direction, as well as with Platinum Games, and I just hope that it continues to build upon that, for the next year. And also, not to mention, one last thing I gotta say is that they really need to step up their game in trying to improve on the virtual console lineup.
Oh yeah,
because
I agree.
That's one of the selling points for like older gamers, and that's why a lot of people bought the Wii last generation, because they actually like the classics. And not to mention the indie games, they're actually another strong point too. So that's something that they're going to need to take advantage of and get some of those games that were either left off from the Wii the first time around or discontinued when they were in the Wii for the first time around. They need to actually bring those back, including the newer ones as well.
Yeah.
But that's, and also Nintendo needs to make sure that they're still, bringing out quality content like what they've have done so far. But yeah, that's it on my end. So Jerry, what do you believe? What do you think? What do you think so negatively about the Wii, and what needs to be done to be improved?
I'm gonna stick by my guns and say it's the network. It has nice ideas, but it's implemented in a kind of clunky way. I think it needs to be more streamlined.
Yeah.
And as for games, I think they need to secure some more exclusives, like on the lines of Bayonetta and Wonderful 101. They have their great first party games, which Mario and the Zeldas. That's always gonna sell consoles no matter what. But it'd be nice to play some of those games that are on the Wii U. Like, say, oh, what does the Wii U have that isn't Mario or Zelda? And I don't want to be able to say, I don't
Exactly. Yeah.
Bayonetta.
Yeah.
Like, I want some other games to join Bayonetta and Wonderful 101 and say, haha, not only Mario and Zelda, but this too.
Like, I know where you're coming from, because, like, what if we heard, like, since we've been knowing that there's been a very good relationship with Nintendo and Sega in this whole year, would it be nice to hear, like, say, like, oh, we'd like to announce that with our partnership with Sega, we're going to bring back a long-beloved revived franchise. That is Streets of Rage. That would sell consoles and units.
Yes.
Or how about Shenmue 3?
Or how about Sonic Adventure 3, which fans have been yearning for?
Yeah, and that's what we're getting. Like, any game. Like, I think that's what you're getting from it as well, too, Kyle, when you were just saying. That I think all of us are trying to say is that they need to be more aggressive in getting into third-party development, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, it's literally the fault between both sides. That's what I'm saying.
Yes, it's not only it's not all of Nintendo, but some of it, but it's mostly due with the industry and the ideology of the industry today. That's what you guys are basically getting at, right?
Those other people like EA saying they're dropping a Wii U version of the game because blah 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 install base.
And you know what? It's funny because I remember a couple months back, a good buddy Enigma from Unbox said this on Twitter. He said, the same thing is going to happen with both the PS4 and the Xbox One. They were inevitably launched. It's just business. That's how business works. When a console is launched, no one's going to go buy, like, for example, the Xbox One. No one's going to buy it at $500 plus tax.
No.
Because there's not that much. There's not much of demand because there's not going to be enough of an install base because they already own the current gen console, the Xbox 360. Same thing's going to happen to the PlayStation 4. Why? Not that much of an install base because they already own the PlayStation 3.
Oh, yeah. They'd probably be in for a rude awakening as well, taking a look at some of the things that cannot be compatible from the PS3 to PS4. But, yeah. So, yeah, those are a lot of the good things and bad things from Nintendo in general. I feel that if I had to rate the first year for Nintendo, Jeff, if I was going to have to rate the first year for Nintendo, I'd say it'd probably be at least a 7 or an 8.
I agree with you. I would actually go and say it's a 7.5 at best.
Yeah, somewhere around there. I mean, the first year wasn't bad, but it wasn't. No. It wasn't perfect either.
It wasn't atrocious. Like, it's like, oh, the GameCube was doing better. Yeah, but at least this time around, Nintendo was doing better for its first year, unlike the GameCube. And I hate to say that because I love the GameCube, but let's face facts. GameCube's first year,
yeah, sales-wise, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jerry, what do you believe? What would you like to rate the Wii U's first year?
I'd give it a 7.5 as well.
Okay.
I was gonna go solid 8, but if it had more exclusives, I'd give it an 8. 7.5 seems good.
Yep. Well, I guess we're gonna have to wait next year to see how well things are gonna go, especially with big name titles coming out for that year, like Smash Brothers, Mario Kart 8, Bayonetta 2, and even what was another game? Oh, Xeno or Project X from Monolith Soft. We got some big name games that are even going to be coming for the experienced gamers as well. So that's going to definitely show how Nintendo is going to, succeed within 2014. And I feel that they're actually going to be doing well for 2014, especially with what's been showcased for the lineup for not only the Wii U but for also the 3DS as well. So it's just a matter of how if they can actually pull it off right and to market the system, which I think they've actually been doing really good so far, because if you take a look at Target.com and GameStop.com, the new Super Mario Bros. U with new Super Luigi U bundle, the Wii U bundle, the 32 gig bundle, they've all sold out already. So, yeah, we'll have to see if they can capitalize on that momentum going into 2014, because they're going to have a lot to do in order to try and bring back, try to get themselves in the strong footing than the slippery road that they have first taken within their first year. And granted, we feel that it would probably be a slippery road, but actually it didn't do as bad as like the PS3 or 360 when they first launched. It actually did better in terms of sales. But yeah, 2014, here's to the Wii U. Nintendo, we hope you have a good 2014 with the system, or a good second year rather, and let's pray that good things will actually come and you will actually, take some of our considerations into account and not don't take it against us, and and we just wish for the best of you for the competition coming with the PS4 and the Xbox One launching very, very soon.
Yeah, and it's good for you clarified that, Kyle, because that's what we want to bring up, is that we have nothing against Nintendo. We love Nintendo, all three of us, but it's just like there are some things that Nintendo does that just makes us go, why would you do that? You know what I mean?
I wouldn't have gotten
Wii Mini!
It's just like with any but this is like this. If we have to explain ourselves, we're those type of gamers that we won't bash one company. We'll
only call them out if they do something that's really atrocious.
If they don't do the right things. Exactly. That's why I meant to say we'll call them out, like if they do something right or if they do the complete opposite and do something wrong.
Yes.
That's just how that's how just our inputs in regards to this discussion video or just the series in general.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I just wanted to chime in and just clarify that,
Okay. Jerry, you want to give any closing comments?
I mean, like you said, we don't hate the Wii U at all. I still think it has a good shot here, and I wouldn't have even gotten one if
it wasn't for us.
I think it's worth getting.
Mm-hmm.
Especially so that.
Well, yeah, if it wasn't for us, but I also get where he's coming from, because I can understand why he hold off. But if from what we've seen and heard from Nintendo, that they acknowledge what they done, and
of course.
All the botches they've done, they learned from that at least. I'm hoping with Jerry as well too, they keep to that promise and show us a more positive year, not only next year but in the future years of this console's lifespan.
Yes, exactly. Okay, well, anyway, guys, I think that will go ahead and conclude for this episode of the Riff Table Arcade. So, yeah, we all hope that you enjoyed listening to this episode and seeing the lovely footage of what you see on screen of the gameplay that I brought about to you all. How do you all like that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Oh, thank you. Oh, by the way,
people don't know how this is recorded. So,
by the way, if you hadn't noticed already, you're seeing Batman Arkham Origins footage. So, yeah, that's what it is. Or it could be something different, but I'm leaning towards Batman.
Nice.
But anyway, guys, to sign off, I'm Double RPG.
I'm 16-Bit Jeff.
I'm FighterXaos.
And you guys want to give any plugs before we get off? Follow me on Double RPG Reviews, my YouTube page, and be sure to follow me on Double RPG Game Riffer Solo, where I do my own solo Let's Plays outside of the Game Riffers, and I already have all the footage for our next Game Riffers project ready and lined up, but it's just a matter of what time we can actually get around to actually working on that. So yeah, be sure to follow me there. Be sure to follow me on Facebook. Name's Double RPG Reviews, and I do have a fan page on there as well. And also, be sure to follow me on Twitter and Tumblr and Instagram, Double RPG Reviews. So anyway, Jerry, go ahead and give your plugs.
All right, follow me on DeviantArt, FighterXaos.deviantart.com. I draw and write, like as these guys mentioned in previous Riff Table, I write comics.
Uh-huh.
No, not webcomic. Well, I'm doing a webcomic, but, comics.
Right.
Check out thebrokeninfinite.blogspot.com. That's where I review comics, and I'm the second in command there. Check out my Twitter at Ikari Radio, IKARIRADIO, which is the same name as my Tumblr.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever my comics come out, I'll tell you all about it. But right now, I got no info, so that's all for me for now.
You got
Until they come out.
nothing.
Okay. And Jeff?
You can follow me on Twitter at 16bitjeff. You can follow me on YouTube with my new page, which is youtube.com/16bitjeff, which you can check out for a lot of other stuff later down the road. And hopefully by around early next year, I'll have some footage captured for future Let's Plays I can do on my channel solely.
Okay, cool. Did you get the Elgato?
That's what I meant. I hope it looks like I'll be getting it probably in January.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. But until then, you can check me out on YouTube. You can check me out on Twitter, and pretty much that's it for now on. At the moment, at least. But yeah. And obviously this, of course.
All right, gamers. Thank you for watching episode 4, and we will definitely see you next time when we talk about our predictions for the PS4 launch, or we talk about everything PS4 related before the PS4 launches on November 15th in the United States. Anyway, gamers, take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Godspeed, and game on, gamers.